I started playing basketball when I was 3 years old, okay? Actually 2 years old. I thought it was 3 for a lot of years. My dad actually recently told me I started at 2 years old. My dad had a passion for the game and it sort of wore off on me. I believe that passion was God-given, and played basketball every chance that I got. A lot of parents today will ask me, how much should my kid be playing basketball in order to be an elite player, or play college, or play pro? How much should he practice? And you know, the truth is, any chance they get. Because the reason I played so much basketball was because it was just fun. It was my God-given passion. So if some kids might think their funnest thing in the day might be to go play video games or go hang out with their friends or go to the movies or whatever, mine was playing ball. So whenever there was a free moment, my parents didn't have to encourage me to go play basketball. I would just go do it because it was fun. Okay, so this is my passion. Played every second of the day. I played AAU ball, clinics, camps. I had an awesome trainer when I was in 5th grade. He taught me the foundation for ball handling. The first move he ever taught me was the in and out, just very basic. Then he taught me a crossover. Then he taught me the Allen Iverson crossover, and just sort of worked my way up from there. That was 5th grade. Get to high school, still ball is life for me, all day, every day. Started on the freshman team. I was 4'11", 85 pounds at 15 years old. Some of you guys might not know sizes, but for a freshman, that's small. I can almost run under the table, standing straight up. So 85 pounds. By the time I was a junior in high school, I was still very small. I was probably like 5'4", 5'5", maybe 110. Super twig, okay? So I stayed on the JV team. For me, that was like heartbreak at the time. I don't get to play varsity basketball as a junior. You know, usually all the cool kids, they're on varsity as a sophomore or a freshman. So, you know, me not to get there even by the time I'm a junior was like, oh, it hurt my pride. I was bummed. Senior year, I transferred to a small Christian school. I really didn't know much about God. Never heard of Jesus Christ or anything. I mean, I've heard of him, but I didn't know much about it. I went to that school just for basketball, to get a better opportunity. It was a small school. There's only like 300 kids. I ended up starting varsity. I got second team All-State after my senior year. I thought it was great. I thought the college coaches were going to be calling. They saw me score 38 points one game and did all these things. We got to the playoffs. It was a good thing, but guess what? Nobody called, and I was a little unrealistic at the time, but I wasn't even good enough to play junior college ball. So I ended up making it based off the fact that my dad had sold a wedding ring. My dad owns a jewelry store. He's a jeweler. He sold a wedding ring to my college coach, and as a favor, the college coach let me go try out for the college team. So he already gave out all the scholarships. He already filled all the spots on the team, but he was gracious enough to let me come try out because my dad believed in my game and he was telling him all about it, pumping me up or whatever. So the coach was nice enough to let me redshirt. He said, hey, you know what? You only weigh 130 pounds. We know you're very skilled offensively, but we don't really know who you'd guard out here, you know? Couldn't have guarded anybody. It was a rough road. It didn't always look good, you know? And I was supposed to redshirt, but it turned out 4 guys had gotten injured on my JUCO or something like that. A bunch of guys went down. So they said, we need you to play because now we need to fill a roster of, you know, at least 10 guys or whatever. We need you to practice daily, this, that, and the other. So I was like, oh, okay, it's amazing. So I suited up. I played about 3 minutes a game. And if the game was close, if it was anywhere close in the 3rd and 4th quarter, I didn't even go in the game. I sat out. So up until, you know, my freshman year in college, things weren't looking so great in my career, but stuck with it. It was my passion. You stayed through it. A lot of times you're going to have trials. You're going to fail. Things won't look so good, but you know, if it's your passion, you just got to stay with it. I still had fun with the game no matter what, even during the regular season wasn't going so great. Okay, so stuck with it. So pretty soon I was a fan of what was called the And One Mixtape tour. Raise your hand if you know what And One is. Okay, good amount of you guys. So streetball, okay? I was a fan of it when I was in high school. I remember watching the mixtapes. So there was these tapes, they were actually VHS. I know a lot of you guys have never watched a VHS in your life. The dusty VHS tapes. Anyway, I was a fan of them, and by the time it come on DVD, you know, I was in senior high school and then in college, and they were going on tour nationwide. But before every game, every tour stop, they would have a tryout for locals. So the locals would try out, and only like 1 or 2 people would get picked from that local tryout to join an opposing team, and they'd play against the And One team that night. And now the tour went all summer long. It was like 30 games. But there was this reality show going on ESPN, and it was a series of elimination. They were working to see who could win nationwide. Only one guy was going to win a contract to play on and 1 team. So I was really excited that there was an opportunity to have a tryout. I know that every time I played, I got people excited off some ball handling stuff, where I was crossing somebody over, doing no-look pass or whatever. That's how I played in high school. So I figured I'd try out, nothing to lose. Tried out. A lot of people got excited at tryouts, and a couple of the players were actually watching from the and 1 team. Does anybody know who Hot Sauce is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Hot Sauce was watching, and a couple other guys were watching. Those were my idols growing up, so I was excited. I was on cloud 9. I was going so hard. Then they asked me to actually come in and play the game. It was myself and a dunker, and only one of us was actually supposed to go in, but they left it up to the crowd. They said, who do you think should go play against the and 1 team? And the applause was equal. So they're like, all right, they could both go. So I got in there, did my thing in the game. I got the crowd excited a few times. I only played about 10 minutes, but they liked the show aspect that I brought. So they said, hey, do you want to join us on tour? And I didn't even know there was a reality show. I didn't know it was a contest. I didn't know any of this, but I was more than excited to do it just to be a part of it, because I was like, this is my everything. I love street ball. I love basketball in general, but I really love street ball. So I toured all summer with them, and it came down to the very end of the tour. In the second to last game, I actually hit this game winner at Madison Square Garden against Team and 1, and I shot it from about 10 feet behind the three-point line. And then we had one more game after that, but because I hit that shot, it gave me all the opportunity to possibly win. So I ended up winning a contract with Team and 1 that summer. This is in 2003. A lot of you guys weren't even born yet. Okay, so 14 years ago. And ever since then, it birthed me with a street ball career. So that was very pivotal in my life. You know, I strived, worked all my life playing basketball, my God-given gift. You know, God gives us all seed. I watered it, I worked hard, did all this, and then the opportunity, preparation met opportunity, and I was able to have some success finally with basketball. Because I prepared all my life, we had the tryout opportunity, boom, success. You ever hear that statement, preparation meets opportunity equals success? It's a true story sometimes, okay? So, anyway, played all over the world. With and 1, we toured over 30 countries. You know, basketball was my job instantly. I decided not to go back to school. I could have went back to school. I didn't. Decided to pursue my passions. My parents supported it. And by the time I got to 2010, things have been great. You know, made a lot of money, very, very fast life. Had a lot of followers on social media. We were on ESPN almost every day, 4 or 5 times a week. It was awesome, okay? Things were good, but I didn't have a lot of discomfort in my life up until that point. I never had asked myself the big questions of life, like, hey, why am I here? Or what's my purpose? What's my true purpose, you know? I was just more on some success-driven stuff. We achieve success, we go around playing ball, we entertain people, good. We go get some girls, go hang out, go party, go do this, that, and the other. So I was just getting into some trouble. A lot of things, in my mind, it was great, but then, you know what? When I hit trials, I had nothing to lean back on. My close friend who played with me for many years, his name was Escalade. You guys know what Escalade is? Some of you guys? Okay. Escalade was about 6'9". He was super tall, and he weighed 500 pounds. He was huge. Okay. But he had amazing ball handling skills. Okay. So a lot of people knew this guy. He was my closest friend. We would probably talk 4 or 5 times a week, and that was if we weren't touring. If we were touring, we were on tour half the year together, about 6-7 months. So we'd be in Europe, we'd be in Asia, we go to New York, LA, Chicago, all over the world playing games, and we had good times. But in an instant, he was gone. He had a heart attack and died. So this was in 2011. You know, a lot of his weight issues, he wasn't dieting the greatest, didn't take care of himself, and it was very sad. For me, it was an earth-shattering moment, you know, and it was the most pivotal point of my career, because from that trial, I actually met God. And a lot of times, we don't ever find God in life unless you hit rock bottom or you have an emotional down. You know what I mean? A down moment in life. You know, some people go to prison, some people get cancer. For me, it was my best friend that died, you know? So that was what got me to ask the bigger questions of life. And I went to his funeral and heard his brother was actually a preacher. His name is Mark Jackson. I don't know if some know the analyst. He's preaching at his funeral, and I actually gave my life to Christ at the funeral. From then, I got linked up with Shepherd of the Hills. I ended up meeting Rolo. I think I had already actually known Rolo, but I started working with the sports ministry and things about that. But then I allowed God to clean my life out, allowed Christ to really change my life around. You know, because we can know God and we can say we believe in God, but then again, if if we don't install daily disciplines and really make it an everyday mission to satisfy God, we won't allow him to clean us out and change our perspective, change our character, relationships, how we view things, all that stuff. So I went through a heavy transformation process from about 2011, or excuse me, late 2010 to the end of 2011, and really looked at life completely different. And it's way more blessed, you know, living for God now. And what I realized was, and this is what I want you guys to take away, is that basketball was my passion, and I didn't know what my true purpose in life was, but through finding God, I realized he gave me the talent from basketball. He gave me that talent, that was my passion, and I realized that that was actually my purpose. So what he does is he gives us a seed, you know, a gift. Everybody has a gift and that they're good at, that's easy for them, but hard for somebody else. You know, for some people it might be dancing, for some people it might be art, for some people it might be you're just good with numbers, you're good at counting or whatever. For me, it was basketball and primarily ball handling. Like, it's always been easy for me to do moves. When I was in 5th grade, I could do you think I was Iverson. At 5th grade, I could do all the moves. I could dribble through people's legs, all that, at a very young age. But I realized it was God's gift, and it's up to us to water it. So I watered it by working hard, going to clinics just like you guys, going to camps, playing in the driveway, playing with mom and pops, all that. It all added up to what my true purpose is actually bring glory to Christ through basketball. So now I get to go around the world and tell people my story and really tell them what my true purpose is in basketball. Because a lot of the world would see what I do and they say, oh, that's entertaining, you know, but now I get a chance to tell them what the true purpose is behind it. It's not just to make people laugh or have a good time. There's actually a fuller, deeper message to it. But what's cool is that you guys get the opportunity to hear it at a very young age. You know, I didn't know this. I didn't hear about Christ or really hear about Jesus until I was a senior in high school. And then even then, it was just a little bit. You know what I mean? It took me later in life to really find God and truly see Christ and, you know, have a transformation experience. Okay, but you guys get to hear about this at a young age from great leaders. Just realize that it's definitely a blessing, you know. I didn't even find out about God until I was 26, 25 years old. Okay, so anyway, sharing with my story, hope you guys could take away a little bit about what got me to where I'm at and how pivotal, you know, a pivotal point in my life was playing professional basketball, but more pivotal was actually finding God. So just want to share that with you guys. Glad I could come in here.
Let's give him a hand real quick.
Yeah. Good. What's up?
What made you come up with the name the Professor?
Oh, it's a good question. I didn't actually come up with the name Professor. I had never had a nickname, so I was just Grayson. And then when I got to when I played in that game in Portland, Oregon, when I got on the N1 Mixtape tour, I got a couple moves off and scored, and Duke Tango, he was the announcer. A lot of you guys that know N1, you hear there was an announcer who used to be on the court with us. He'd be like, oh, baby. So he gives out nicknames. He was popular for that. So he said I was a professor because I was schooling people on the court, like a professor schools students. What's up?
Does it hurt when you when you throw the ball at the guy's head? Does it hurt?
Oh, the off the head move? Yeah. If you do it wrong, it hurts. Yeah. It's supposed to be a quick and painless bounce off the forehead. It started off like this. Let me see that ball real quick. It started off like that. Like that's literally as light as it was supposed to be. But then over time, some people did it harder. And me, I've accidentally did it wrong and a little too hard a few times. So I try to cut back on it more today.
Jesus on 3, 1, 2, 3. Jesus! Good job, guys. Thank you. Everybody say thank you, Gracie.
Hey, Joe, what's your name? Mia. Mia? Yeah. Okay.
All right, good work. If they're sagging off, it's no problem. You can stay like this, right? There you go. Boom.
Boom.